Train Sim World 5 Roadmap Part 1 August. LDR too long, didn't read summary. 1. Dovetail Direct, Summer 2024. Catch up on our latest major announcements for TSW and more. 2. Train Sim World 5, arriving September 17, 2024. UK West Coast Mainline, London Euston, Milton Keynes. UK AMD Class 390 Pendolino. US San Bernardino Line, Los Angeles San Bernardino. Frankfurt, Fulda, Kinzig Talbon. Flix Train BR1, 193 Vectron. New free starter pack, a new way into TSW for everyone. 3. Future route announcements. MBT Commuter, Boston, Framingham, Worcester Line. Great Western Express Remaster. Elsass Ludwigsbahn, Mannheim, Kaiserslautern. West Coast Main Line, Preston, Carlisle from Just Trains. Cardiff City Network, TSW's first Welsh route. Borleans Wohl, Groningen, TSW's first Dutch route. Update on Tadami Line from Union Workshop, TSW's first Japanese route. 4. Airbus planes are coming to Train Sim World 5. 5. Train Sim World VR, New York, our first venture into VR on the Harlem Line. 6. Train Sim World Tycoon, a new free-to-play title coming to Roblox this year. 7. City Transport Simulator, Tram, details on the new 0.3 update. The Train Sim World Roadmap. Phew, that was all rather exciting, wasn't it? Welcome to the Train Sim World Roadmap. It's great to have you with us. For those new to this, our roadmaps are a dedicated space where our development teams will provide details and break down all the exciting new content coming with the release of Train Sim World 5 this September 17th. For a quick visual reminder of everything, here's a peek at our TSW5 overview. We'll be covering this in more detail across 2 articles. Our Part 1 today will focus on the new routes and locomotives you will find in Train Sim World 5, sharing more information about everything we announced in yesterday's Dovetail Direct, insights from the Dovetail development team, and of course all new exciting screenshots to dive into before release. Part 2 article, coming out tomorrow, will dive into all of the new core features we've implemented and improved in TSW5 and checks in with our third-party partners for TSW on their upcoming projects. If you want all the information on Train Sim World 5, head to our TSW5 Fake Use Master page. We will also be posting separate dedicated articles for each of the 3 new core routes to explore the timetables, key route features, and service scenario specifics, which you can expect starting next week. Tomorrow, on Thursday, August 22nd, we'll be live on our YouTube and Twitch channels to talk you through the entirety of what's coming with Train Sim World 5 and answer your questions live. Be sure to set your notification for this on our Train Sim World 5 Roadmap livestream. That won't be all. Join us each week until launch for a live showcase for each of the new routes and new features coming to Train Sim World 5. See what's coming up with our live stream overview. Dovetail Direct, Summer 2024. If you'd prefer to catch all this information in video form, make sure to check out our recent Dovetail Direct. You can find out all the upcoming information for Train Sim World 5 as well as all new announcements. As a fun bit of trivia, the passive sounds heard during the countdown were taken directly from San Bernardino Station, and if you caught the snaky hints of the new TSW5 main menu music at the stroke of each hour, then why not enjoy the full soundtrack from our masterful musician, Ben, available on our channel. Train Sim World 5 routes and logos. West Coast Main Line, London Euston Milton Keynes. Let's dive right in with maybe the most requested UK route to date, the West Coast Main Line. Get ready to be swept off your feet with commuter mayhem, operating semi-fast and commuter services between Euston and Milton Keynes, all from the detailed cab of the Northwestern Class 350. We've talked to our product marketing coordinator James to share more details. Q. What makes the West Coast Main Line so requested? James. The culmination of sheer variety that comes together in this route is a sight to behold. We've spoken among ourselves about the desire to go west for a long time, but the challenge was always, how do we get all the vastly different trains together? Well, thanks to the passage of time and many development efforts throughout Train Sim World's history, we have 1. Class 377-2, a conversion of the 377-42. 19. RM750x stock from the Bernardino line, which is included with updated lighting and rain effects. 3. The ever-versatile Class 66, although now sporting its modern DB Cargo UK livery. 4. The Class 710 layering in from the Suffragette line. And then, all that was needed was the addition of the new Class 350 and Class 390 in Deluxe. And would we finally have all the pieces to bring the WCML to TSW with the variety it needed? A run up or down the WCML, whether you're in a stopping service or an express run, it's just thrilling. From top to bottom, the whole route is never less than 4 tracks wide, and with the addition of TfL services in the Greater London area too, catch the right moment and trains can be either side of you. The 28 stations on the route are all served by different kinds of services and operators. It will take several different runs before you are able to visit them all, and everything has its purpose. As can be expected with a road of this size, the timetable represents perhaps the most complex and dynamic challenge. Unlike Brighton Mainline, which was dozens of the same trains doing the same things, or Sayes with the busyness spread out across vastly different areas of the route, this is all crammed into one main line. As such, getting the services to work together can prove troublesome. Why is a Bernardino Line train late? Oh, because this overground service is being held up at Euston by this 350 which was stuck behind a 377, itself lagging behind a 66. You get the idea. Points of interest on the route for players to look out for. It's London, so of course there are buildings everywhere, but the highlight ones for me are the BT Tower, Wembley Stadium, and while curving out of Euston, the line is eclipsed by the pinnacle of Camden's brutalist architecture, namely the Alexander Road estate, with its staggered concrete apartments almost overhanging the down-fast line. Away from London, and there's still nice things to spot. The under-construction East-West rail line at Bletchley is a nice glimpse of the future, as is the work to build S2 at Euston, of course. But there's also 2 things to point out near Cheddington. To the south of the station, you pass by the tranquil Pitstone Wharf Marina, complete with canal boats, and to the north, the WCML races over the very short but notable Bridgego Bridge, formerly known as Metmore Bridge, but is more historically known as the site of the Great Train Robbery. It's primarily for the Pendolino, but the use of EPS, or Enhanced Permitted Speed Boards, on the WCML is fairly unique among UK routes overall. Unlike traditional speed boards, which can offer a blanket line speed for all traffic, or reduce speed for locomotives and freight trains, EPS boards allow for a speed limit higher than that of the actual speed limit, with the caveat that it only applied to stock with tilt enabled. So just being in a 390 is not enough. If for any reason you have the tilting system isolated, you would be expected to follow traditional speed limits. We were chatting with Daisy, who you may remember from her support on Birmingham Cross, City or Scenery additions to Southeastern High Speed, and her words on the matter very much reflected our own. Daisy, it's got to be the approach to Euston, seeing the iconic telecommunications tower on the skyline come into view as you enter the platforms at 25 mph, one of the rare UK stations where the line speed is so high entering a terminus station. Make sure to slow down well before the buffers, though STPWS will still get you if you're not approaching the buffers with care. But of course it's not the West Coast Main Line without Avanti West Coast BR Class 390 Pendolino. The iconic Class 390 Pendolino in the Avanti West Coast livery. We're checking in with insights from Tom Walters, our lead artist on Train Sim World, who helped us recreate this heavily requested locomotive. The Pendolino is finally in TSW. Why should everyone get excited? Tom, Avanti have been a very cooperative partner for us to work with, allowing our teams to source much of the labeling, branding and detail straight from source during our reference trips to Avanti in Wolverhampton and ensure the utmost accuracy when recreating the loco. Class 390 will bring high-speed operation to the WCML in Avanti's freshly refurbished train sets, available in both 9 and 11 car variants, as it races along the WCML at up to 125 mph and providing a thrilling counterpart to complement the stop-start commuter services offered by the Class 350. And for a quick mention with Adam, our senior audio designer. Adam, our audio teams were also able to use this opportunity to grab authentic recordings with a static 390, and for moving sounds we have used resources and support working with members across the community. What makes the Pendolino so special to the West Coast Mainline? Tom, you can't think of the WCML in modern times and not think of the Class 390 Pendolino. It has been plying its trade, ferrying commuters and travelers alike up and down the WCML for the last 20-plus years, with it showing no sign of slowing down anytime soon besides its scheduled stops, of course. Hugh, what unique features stand out for the Pendolino in train sim world? It goes without saying, but the Class 390 is equipped to tilt, hence the moniker of Pendolino. This allows it to handle the topography of the WCML without sacrificing speed by means of tilting into curved sections of track. We've only scratched the surface with tilting trains in TSW previously, and so it's exciting to be able to introduce two new additions with the release of TSW5, with both the Pendolino and the IC. Tune into our West Coast Mainline and AMD Pendolino preview livestream on our TSW channels, August 29, 2024, where you can see them in action ahead of the launch. San Bernardino Line, Los Angeles, San Bernardino. Let's head over to the US and connect some of our most played American routes with the San Bernardino Line. To give us more insight into what you can expect, we've asked our artist Sam, who worked closely developing some of the environment art across the line. Sam, lots of variety, hidden nooks and long sightlines make for a visual feast. San Bernardino has a little bit to offer everyone, from urban to rural, from passenger to freight. If you're looking for something unique, a large section of the route has highways running parallel to the track, which can make for some very interesting screenshots and photo modes. Oh, and crossings. Lots and lots of crossings. I'm personally very fond of the Rialto area. It has a rural feel to it, and in that brings its own charms. The station has a wonderful old wooden building, with some ornate features like lamps and signage. Head on out of the busy LA Union, saunter past the LA River, slowly leaving downtown behind and meandering on into the suburbs. Past the road chaos of Cal State, we travel onwards towards the small but unique stations that highlight this route. The likes of Hollywood-inspired El Monte, the murals and wooden canopies of Baldwin Park, past the Speedway station, with its racetrack, and on to pink slate canopies of Fontana and the old-world feel of Rialto, with much, much more in between. Then we leave it all behind as we enter San Bernardino. Large yards and sprawling city greet us, with the freight-heavy San Bernardino Depot and the passenger terminus San Bernardino downtown. Hugh, do you have any areas on the route for players to look out for? 1. Speedway Station. This is used only when race events are on, which is often quiet, but not too far from the track, is the now NASCAR-owned circuit. We also have a mastery tile linked with this location. 2. Olive Pit Mining Quarry, Baldwin Park. The track runs alongside this mining quarry, and it is quite the spectacle to behold. 3. Freeway Spaghetti Junction. Cal State Station has a wonderful view of the intricate dance of the San Bernardino and Long Beach freeways. 4. San Gabriel River Trail. The track crosses the meandering dried-up riverbed between El Monte and Baldwin Park, home to a cornucopia of vegetation. Hugh, how have our teams gathered audio for the sounds of the MP36PH? Adam, Metrolink have been incredibly kind to us. They put us on our own private train to record the mainline running sounds of the MP36 and the rest of their fleet. They even took us the full length of the line, and it was just us on it, no public. We were very lucky, and it was definitely going above and beyond, which is a really memorable moment. Hugh, most challenging part of developing San Bernardino. Sam, much of the route is flat, with long sight lines leading for large distances to scenic mountains. On top of that, there are a lot of sprawling but dense cities and suburbs. This provides fantastic opportunities for screenshots, in photo mode particularly with some of its new features. More on this tomorrow, but it was a challenging combo where we wanted to capture these visuals, this essence, and keep the game performing smoothly. Additionally, for those who pick up Train Sim World 5 Deluxe Edition, you'll also be given the Cajun Pass route add-on, a Californian route featuring BNSF-operated stock, including the ES44C4 and SD40-2 locomotives, and this will perfectly link to the San Bernardino line via the new route hopping feature available at San Bernardino Station, or hop over to the Antelope Valley line via Los Angeles Station. Watch a first peek of San Bernardino and Train Sim World 5 features on our live stream preview event September 5, 2024 on our TSW YouTube channel ahead of our early access. Frankfurt, Fulda, Kinzigtalbahn. Finally, let's twist right into our newest German route with the Kinzigtalbahn, which packs a whopping 103 km of track between Frankfurt and Fulda BF. Expected a whole host of variety, and you turn and bank around the scenic Kinzig Valley aboard the tilting DBR 411 IC shuttle along the line in the regional BR 114 plus Dostos, and haul freight with the mighty Vectron. James is back to tell us more. James, Germany's second busiest station, says it all. Starting a route in Frankfurt has been a goal for a long time, especially for our producer Lucas, who is very familiar with the railways in Hesse. Frankfurt is a great hub for all types of passenger services, but our focus will be the regional, intercity and IC services, which immediately turn 180 degrees and embark on the 100 km run to Fulda, which you may know as the midpoint of Kassel, Würzburg. This means there is something for everyone. 5 trains are included, with even more of your collection layering in. Our audio teams also went out to Germany for a recording trip to get sounds for the IC and recorded them both statically and moving at specific speeds. James, that varies on the type of service you are running, but by far the most dynamic are the IC services. As we will get into later, the GSD tilting functionality is an immediate transformation of the experience, but it also keeps you engaged in the cab, as there are multiple systems you will interact with, CB and CIFA of course, but GSD plays a key role in the enhanced speed limits of tilting trains, and on top of that, there are also sections of LTD scattered about this route. You really get a sense of varied driving, all while passing regional and other intercity traffic sections of the Frankfurt Bahn, and also interacting with freight along the way. Q. Any challenges when developing Frankfurt, Fulda? Making 24 stations for a route like this is always a challenge. Despite already having Fulda as a starting point, there were still half a dozen big stations to make, including Frankfurt HBF of course, but also the ones in between that get us to the total. And of course, no route this complex would be complete without authentic track, and ensuring all the curves and junctions are correct can be a very engaging and time-consuming task. Q. What should players on the route look out for as they drive? The main highlight of the show is all the scenery around Frankfurt, from outskirts to financial hub skyline. It's built up all the way between HBF and Hanau. Bespoke buildings and thriving industry populate the ground. Meanwhile, we have also taken the time to fill out the road above the horizon. Look out for aircraft, which we will get into later, following realistic flight paths and holding patterns all across the city. While not unique in isolation, this is the first route which has the previously mentioned combination of meaning there will be moments of semi-automated supervision as well as sections that allow this to go faster than other trains. This means that even driving other SUSs such as the C1 differs compared to this. There are also sections without either system. You might expect me to say Frankfurt, but that feels like it's too obvious. I'm actually going to call out a short section just outside of Feilden station to accommodate a diverging junction. There is a brief moment where the main running lines diverge, and then shortly after they diverge again and run into single-bore tunnels. That section is just something to marvel at, especially in the ICE. Leaning round a single-track section gives the route a fleeting rural feel, and that such modern trains don't belong, but they do, and it's one of the sections I look forward to on every run. Flix Train BR 193 Vectron. For the second of our deluxe edition locos, get ready for a verdant flavor to the Kinzigtalbahn with additional Flix train traction. Vectron and Talbot coaches wear neon green for iconic cross-country rail travel. Q. Why should players be excited and what makes the Flix train so special? James, for starters, it's not red. It sounds simple, but it's always a fantastic opportunity to get additional operators for Germany in particular, as it allows us to break up the constant flow of red and white trains, and you can't get more contrasting than bright green. Operationally, Flix Train also presents the chance to recreate long-distance services all across our German routes and train sim world. With free roam and scenario planner, the verdant Vectron is at home on Curl, Nochen, Hauptstrecke Rhein Ruhr, Main Spessartbahn and Munich Augsburg. From a quick glance, you'd be forgiven for thinking all Vectrons are the same, but under the magnifying glass, subtle differences start to pop up. The outward appearance is in all fairness the same. A Vectron is a Vectron, with that distinctive front end. Of course the liveries make all the difference and each one gives it a different feel. The first thing one might notice, especially the Panto police among you. The FlixTrain Vectron only has 2 pantographs, rather than 4 like DB and Railpool. This represents one key configurable difference. Not all Vectrons support the same electrification variety, and FlixTrain, being exclusively for German operation, does not need setup for other countries, whereas DB Cargo and Railpool routinely make their way across borders on Trans-Europe freight. The way the light catches each loco also reveals a slight distinction in construction methods. Both DB and Railpool Vectrons share a subtly ribbed body side, with the metal skin slightly bowing between the internal structure. But this is not present on the FlixTrain Vectron. As you can see with the same perspective, the body is smooth throughout. You only notice if you're looking for it, but these are the details that makes all the difference. If anything, some of the more visible changes are actually in the cab. Different operators can spec the modular Vectron how they wish, and so certain screen locations can vary between variants. As a result, all 3 Vectrons, which are now in TSW, offer a different forward-facing view and require looking in different places for the same information. Note also how the dedicated freight only DB Vectron has no LZB. Aside from the aforementioned differences, the uniqueness of this Vectron is it's primarily used for passenger services, and as such comes with its own set of new to TSW Talbot cars. These cars are a refurbished classic throughout Germany, the intra-GOUICX type, so as much as they can be used on FlixTrain duties, with some livery and formation designer work, they would look just as authentic behind an Orientrot BR103. Catch a glimpse of Frankfurt Fulda and FlixTrain Vectron on our live stream preview on our TSW channels, September 11, 2024, ahead of our early access. Get on board with the free starter pack. We love being closely involved across the many TSW communities, and we've come to understand that for many players, there's a growing desire for a more accessible entry point to jump into the latest version of Train Sim World. We're very excited and proud to reveal that this year, we're providing a free opportunity to get onto the newest release across all our supported platforms with our free starter pack that joins our roster of Train Sim World 5 bundles. The free starter pack will give you access to the training center and the core feature set of Train Sim World 5 features. More on this tomorrow that aren't tied to route-based content. This pack won't provide you with any routes on its own, so if you're interested in the new Train Sim World 5 content, you'll find more value in our premium bundles that include the routes and locos we've covered, and you can find breakdowns within our TSW5 bundle FAQs. However, if you already play Train Sim World on the same platform and account, you will be able to bring any compatible add-ons you already own into Train Sim World 5 and play them with the newest features. On top of being a fantastic way for new players to begin their TSW journey, this is also a good benefit to existing players. The free starter pack allows you to 1. Access new add-ons released after the launch of Train Sim World 5, even if you have yet to purchase a core bundle. 2. Update any previously owned compatible roads to their current remastered variants: West Somerset Railway, Cathcart Circle Line, or the upcoming Great Western Express remaster. 3. Explore any TSW patches you have missed on your favorite routes if you weren't on the most up-to-date version of Train Sim World. Once you claim the free starter pack, it is yours to keep forever, but as an important note, this offer to claim the pack will only be available for 30 days after the launch of Train Sim World 5, and therefore will expire on the 17th October 2024, so be sure to share the word. If you have any more questions, be sure to head to our TSW5 FAQs where you can see details on the free starter pack and much more. Future roadmap additions. We hope you enjoyed the Take a Ticket reveal show we featured on the recent Dovetail Direct, which announced 6 brand new routes and 2 brand new countries coming to Train Sim World in the near future. We wanted to provide some additional detail and work-in-progress screenshots to further explain what you can expect from these announcements and get you excited for the future beyond Train Sim World 5 launch. With many of these new announcements, we've looked at pushing the world of Train Sim World further and wider to new countries or found opportunities that would tie these upcoming releases into the new core features of TSW5 with route hopping connections or new gameplay in conductor mode. Please keep in mind that many of these add-ons are still heavily in development, and the information we've able to give at this stage may be fairly limited, but we will follow up with more news in our monthly roadmaps. MBT commuter, Boston Framingham Worcester Line. We will be returning to Boston to embark on another journey across the MBT commuter network. Instead of heading south towards Providence, this time we'll be heading west into the heart of Massachusetts along the Framingham-Worcester line. You'll be working the line with the existing F40PH3C as well as the distinctive and new SB46, which you can see is already looking rather splendid. Accompanying the already existing single-deck cars, highly anticipated and brand new double-decker and equipment shall also be included. These renders are still undergoing development, but we hope you're excited for more information when we're ready to share it. Great Western Express, remastered in Train Sim World 5. If you thought the West Somerset and Cathcart Circle remasters were blockbusters, you cannot imagine what's to come with the incredible work by game designer Liam to bring you the Great Western Express remaster. Our oldest UK route in TSW will soon be catapulted into modern standards. Everything from volumetric skies to enhanced visuals, all the way to entirely rebuilt points of interest. A new timetable will be the perfect way to explore this refreshed route, and there may even be some extra surprises to see along the way. 1. Full route overhaul with the D4 lighting. 2. New timetable Great Western Express, 2017. 3. Conductor mode on the K3 in the Class 166. 4. Updated landscape scenery, signage, old signals and track with TSW5 shadows. 5. Updated lighting and weather effects for all GWE and Diesel Legend stock. 6. Upgraded both GWE Class 66 to latest Class 66 specs, including suspension and audio. 7. New and rebuilt landmarks, including Southall Depot, Old Oak Common and Ealing Broadway. 8. Added new suspension physics to all GWE stock and Diesel Legends Class 08, MK1 and MK2. 9. So much more. Each remaster has accompanied some additional experience for you to enjoy the road in new ways. West Somerset came with a Steam Gala timetable, and Cathcart was supported with the release of the ScotRail Class 380. For Great Western Express, Liam is expanding the experience with additional layers and liveries. 1. Back in blue, the ASD in Class 166 will be available in unbranded blue livery. There will also be formations to mimic the Class 165. 2. Going electric. The Class 387 will appear on the route in unbranded green, Airport and Gatwick Express liveries, complete with appropriate numbering and making use of the old between Paddington and Hayes and Harlington. 3. Under the ground. With kind permission from Rivet Games, the Class 484 will show up too, masquerading as its former life as D78 stock in an inspired, unbranded livery. Please note, you will need to own Brighton Mainline and Island Line 2022 for the 387 and 484 liveries respectively. These will be updates to those add-ons, which then layer into GW. Of course, if you're an existing owner of GW and previous W titles, here's a reminder that you will be able to access this in Train Sim World 5 using the free starter pack and experience the remastered route with no extra charge. Felsisch Ludwigsbahn, Mannheim Kaiserslautern. The German adventure continues along the scenic Felsisch Ludwigsbahn as it was in 2014, heading west out of Mannheim to BF, a hub for rail fanning if there ever was one. The route starts off with a pace, speeding along to Neustadt-Weinster BF. It's then a slower ride from there, winding through the valley to Kaiserslautern. From 111 operated regional expresses to 425s on the Rhein-Neckar-Span, there's lots of variety to look forward to. And yes, there's a station called Frankenstein. West Coast Main Line, Preston Carlisle from Just Trains. The Just Trains team are excited to announce West Coast Main Line, Preston to Carlisle. Just Trains, following on from our highly acclaimed Blackpool branches, Preston, Blackpool and Ormskirk route add-on, it's full speed north as our next route departs from the city of Preston and runs through detailed and highly immersive scenery through Penrith to the city of Carlisle, which along with the option to drive the unelectrified Morecambe branch, gives you a total of over 100 miles to drive. Set in the late 1980, the route features the electrified core of the West Coast Main Line from Preston to Carlisle. However, you can operate DMU services on the Morecambe Promenade branch to the seaside. We have also extended the main line north from Carlisle Citadel Station to Kingmore Yard and Depot. Just like Blackpool branches, there is a wealth of content for you to enjoy. Feature loco is the impressive, iconic, and complex Class 8750, along with the BRMK-3A coaches and EVGA Freightliner wagons. This 110 mph rated locomotive provided power for the main services between London, Euston, and Glasgow during the 1980 and will look at home as it storms through the Lune Gorge and onwards to the summit of Shap. An exciting and vibrant timetable along with an impressive mix of express, freight and passenger services coupled with the Class 8750 means that you will not want to miss West Coast Mainline, Preston to Carlisle. Development has also started on our first loco add-on, which itself will be for WCML and add even more highly anticipated variety. We also announced 2 brand new countries coming to Train Sim World in the Dovetail Direct. Card, if City Network, Crocio I Jimru. Humry and Byth. Expanding our breadth of UK content, we will be exploring rail operations on the other side of the Severn with our very first Welsh route, and where better to start than the capital city of Cardiff. Featuring a densely packed network within the city, intense passenger services will keep you busy aboard Transport for Wales diesel multiple units, operating through many stations on various timetable patterns. A swift departure from the long intercity running of the WCML routes. Spoorleyens Wol, Groningen, hello to Holland. A long-anticipated arrival is on the way for railfans as we get ready to enter another new country, and it's a first for Dovetail Games, the Netherlands. Express and commuter services are the mainstay of the Zwol, Groningen route, operated by the Netherlands Spoorweggens iconic ICM3 Koploper and Ascendia Sprinter new generation EMU. Learn new signals and systems as you dash along the countryside in yellow and blue fashion. It's a little further away, but we wanted to take this chance to share our excitement with a very WIP render of the ICM3, complete with its iconic raised cab. Checking in on Tadami Line from Union Workshop UWS. Bringing us up to an astounding 3 brand new countries coming to Train Sim World. During the Dovetail Direct, we also briefly mentioned the previously announced Tadami Line under development by Union Workshop, which will take you across the beautiful scenery of Japan. Today we have a few new work-in-progress environment screenshots to share from their team on current progress for the upcoming add-on, and we'll keep sharing more in our monthly roadmaps going forward. This final screenshot provided below is one Union Workshop asked us to highlight, known as the Miyashita Three Brothers, a famous train spotting point along Tadami Line featuring 3 bridges within a single picturesque scene. Is it a bird? Is it an Airbus licensed plane? For the first time, we have been able to secure licensed aircraft in Train Sim World in the form of the Airbus A321LR and the Airbus A350-1000XWB. As already mentioned for Frankfurt Fulda, this allows us to bring the skies above cities to life in all new ways, giving you something to look out for while on the move, providing it's not cloudy. As well as Frankfurt Fulda, you will also see aircraft above the skies of San Bernardino Line's Los Angeles for LAX patterns, as well as in the Great Western Express remaster for Heathrow patterns. Roadmap Part 2 coming tomorrow. We'll be checking in with the rest of our third-party partners in the second part of the Train Sim World 5 roadmap, coming out tomorrow, diving into all the new features and creative tools in detail, and also featuring even more new add-on teaser announcements, as well as another new core feature coming to Train Sim World 5 on release, which we've not had a chance to shed light on yet. Train Sim World VR, New York. And the new announcements kept coming as part of the Dovetail Direct. We also unveiled our VR title Train Sim World VR, New York. Developed by our friends at Just Add Water, this is our way of taking the way you experience train simulation to a whole new world. From our announcement, we previewed some initial in-development gameplay of what you can expect, which you can watch again from our live event. Check out our TS WVR New York Metastore page and add this to your wishlist if you're interested in a whole new way to experience train simulation. Whilst this new VR title is a part of the Train Sim World family, we wanted to clarify that existing add-ons for TS W will not be compatible in Train Sim World VR, New York. Train Sim World Tycoon, coming to Roblox. Further expanding the world of TSW, we've been developing an all-new train experience called Train Sim World Tycoon with our friends at Tailwind, coming this year on the Roblox platform. This will be a free-to-play game that anyone can access with a Roblox account, will feature multiplayer elements, and suitable for all ages to jump in and enjoy. We're hoping to reach out to all new audiences with this title and get even more people excited about the rails. In Tycoon, you will find trains inspired by real-world locomotives, and these will feature simpler driving controls that support a wider audience, including those who may be younger. Whilst playing, you will earn coins to upgrade your station over time to build your network, and exploring the world, you will also encounter new biomes and characters within the game who will help you out. You'll also be able to encounter other players in a variety of ways. 1. Visiting other player stations and host receiving visitors at your own. 2. Ride along as a passenger on another player's train or invite them to join your journey. 3. Drive around the world alongside others in your trains. 4. And you can catch some of the TSW Tycoon gameplay from the Dovetail Direct to see it in action. We'll keep sharing more information about Train Sim World Tycoon in the coming months, and we will be launching a chance to get in early before the official release and try it out. City Transport Simulator, Tram. For fans of CTS, Tram, during our Dovetail Direct we also announced the new upcoming 0.3 update, which includes a new Vienna Type D tram, map extensions, new sidings, more player levels and much more. Catch our CTS summary during the event and check out City Transport Simulator, Tram on the ViewUp website. Roadmap Livestream. Exec producer of Trains, Matt, and senior community manager, Alex, will also be live tomorrow to discuss the entirety of both roadmaps in full alongside the other details from Dovetail Direct and answer your questions live. Stream will begin from 1800 UTC 1900 BST on our YouTube and Twitch channels, and we can't wait to see you there.